I'm Walter Simonson, and you're watching the Pretentious Film Majors. Have fun.
Please listen carefully.
Mr. Simonson, thank you for joining me very briefly, because I see you're very busy with all the fans that you're meeting.
It's been pretty brisk here at the convention.
So first of all, congratulations on your Harvey Awards from last night.
Well, thank you very much. It was very nice. It was a bit of a surprise.
I believe you got one of the biggest ovations of the night when you got up.
Well, it was kind of hard to know what the heck was going on right then, so I will take your word for it.
So Marvel Now is happening very soon, and I loved your work on Avengers, especially with Red Hulk. Do you think you'll be involved with the Red Hulk or any other character in Marvel Now?
I'm sure something will come along. I don't know how much I'll be doing immediately. Probably not much immediately. I did the Avengers, took about 7 months, and right now I'm taking a little time off because I need to recharge my batteries. I don't recharge as fast as I used to, so I need a little more time to do it. I did do a Hulk variant cover, but not a Red Hulk, a Green Hulk variant cover, where I said, what do you guys want for a cover? Oh, it's a variant, whatever you want to do. I said, really? I said, yeah, whatever you want to do. Well, I go back to when the Hulk used to run around the southwest of the United States and throw tanks around. So I drew a picture of the Hulk running around the southwest, throwing around tanks. So I had a lot of fun. That was really great. But there'll be other stuff down the road, I'm sure. Right now, I'm just kind of cooling my jets.
So did you find any differences like working with the Hulk as opposed to the Red Hulk?
Well, they have different haircuts. They have different haircuts, and their eyes are different. And right now, I don't think I had to do this in the comic. In the Avengers, I didn't do it. Now for the cover, the Hulk has sort of a armored stuff on, which maybe that's a secret. Oh,
no,
well.
Mark Waid talked about it.
Oh no! Don't tell anybody I said that. But in the comic, it was more a matter really of the hair and the eyes, and beyond that, it was the colorist was the person who really made the most difference.
Oh, okay, cool. So I just lost my train of thought. That's okay, though. Oh, right. So you're really well known for Thor, and you brought Beta Ray Bill into the fray. With Thor starting over again at a new number 1, do you think we'll get to see Beta Ray Bill? Will you push to see Beta Ray Bill again?
It has nothing to do with me. I won't be pushing. That's really up to Marvel editorial, and the creators, whoever's going to be writing, whoever's drawing it. That's really their call. When you do comics like mainstream American comics, essentially when you get a character to do, you get a part of the sandbox, you play in that part of the sandbox, and when you're done, you move on, somebody else comes in, kicks all your stuff down, builds their own stuff, and gets going. So I had a great time playing in that sandbox. Now it's somebody else's turn. They'll do whatever they want to do. So
throughout your illustrious career, you've worked with a lot of different heroes. Do you have a favorite that you like, creating for?
Well, Thor probably. When I read comics, I read Marvel comics back in the 60s. I was in college, and I read all of them, which means at the time, like 10 books a month. It wasn't like it is now. And they were about 20 cents, 30 cents a piece or whatever, so I could afford them on a college student's money allowance. But I liked Thor. I had always liked Norse myths. I liked the mythology in general. From before I knew there was a Thor comic. When I discovered the Thor comic, I was thrilled. Even though it wasn't the same as the myths, I didn't really care. I didn't mind his hair was blonde instead of red. I didn't care he wasn't wearing gloves to catch the hammer. I just liked the stories, and I really enjoyed the character and his interactions with the world he was in. So, of all the comics I read back then, I loved Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, and Thor. But Thor was my favorite, so when I had a chance to write and draw him, it was really a pleasure.
Cool. So back in the day, you did some work on the Doctor Who comic when Doctor Who was at Marvel. Are you a Doctor Who fan? And why do you think Marvel doesn't do Doctor Who anymore?
Sadly, I am not a Doctor. I'm not a Doctor Who fan in the sense I don't follow Doctor Who. I have friends who are major Doctor Who fans. Jo Duffy, who was the editor of that magazine back at the time, was a major Doctor Who fan. She asked me if I would do. I did one cover and some interior illustrations, and I had reference. And I'm a big Tom Baker fan. I think he's fantastic, and he may be the Doctor for me, just of all the different ones. The other guys I've really enjoyed. So I had fun drawing it. I like drawing a scarf 5 miles long. As a visual challenge, he was interesting to draw with the scarf and the hat and the coat and all the stuff he had going on in the TARDIS. That was a lot of fun, but I think Doctor Who's neat, but I haven't really followed the series. I'm told it's extremely good these days. So
I like it a lot.
there you go. And I have friends who do comics who are major fans. So perhaps one of these days it's one of those I'll catch up to.
So a lot of couples will say that they don't want to work with their significant other, because they'll be butting heads or, they'll be getting into fights. What's it like working with your wife sometimes?
Sadly, it's like working with me. It's just, really, I'll give you one quick example. Because we've worked together when she's edited and I've written and drawn, or we've written together on the same project, or she's written and I've drawn. It's been every combination you could imagine. When we did a book years ago called Meltdown. We wrote it together. John J. Muth, Kent Williams painted it. It was a Havoc Wolverine crossover that ran as 4 prestige books. And when we did it, we were the writers, and one of us would write, and you'd write, and you'd write, and you'd write until you were exhausted. And then you might be in the middle of a sentence, and you'd get up and go, okay, I'm exhausted. Then the other person would come in, sit down, and just start writing right at that point. And so I could not tell you now what parts of that series I wrote and what parts of it Louise wrote. So our collaborations have been very smooth. They really have been like an extension of each other in a way that's been really a privilege. And since I believe I'm living with one of the greatest editors comic books ever had, it's a huge advantage to me.
Very cool. So finally, you said you were going to recharge your batteries for a little while, but what's the last big project that you're working on before doing so?
Well, the last one, I finished everything up. I just finished, well, actually a year ago now, but it's just about to come out. I did a graphic novel for DC called The Judas Coin. That's coming out, I'm told, in about a week. It's a 100-page, 96-page graphic novel in which one of the coins Judas was paid to betray Christ gets out into the DC universe. The book itself is 6 short stories, and from 9 pages to 17 pages long. They involve mostly not that well-known DC characters: the Golden Gladiator, the Viking Prince, Captain Fear, Batlash, Two-Face, who's better known. I thought DC should have some character to help sell the book, so Batman's there. And then Manhunter 2070. The coin, so they run over, the stories run over a 2,000-year period. The coin appears in each story and each time, and each story involves some betrayal and some bad outcomes for some people because it's a very unlucky coin. So that'll come out in a week or two. Titan Books is reprinting an Alien graphic novel. I did an adaptation of Archie Goodwin of the original Alien movie back in '79. They're putting out both a reprint of the color graphic novel and they're putting out an artist edition. Watch this. This is an advanced copy. No one has one of these but me yet, and Titan. And so basically, it's a facsimile edition of the original art, which I still had. So it's a 61-page graphic novel in facsimile. So you can see all the coffee stains and all the whiteout and all the places that we screwed up. And there's an interview in the back. There's some other drawings I did. And Archie's complete typescript, his actual typescript, the manuscript originally he wrote, is all in there. So that's coming out in about a month. After that, I'm thinking about maybe some creator-owned stuff. I don't know yet. I have a couple of thoughts about that, but I may go back and revisit some creator-owned stuff I did years ago. And I have a new idea for something I'd like to. So some folks I know at a company are kind of talking about this. We don't have a chance to do it much before Baltimore, so that's something we'll do when I get home. So I think that's probably the next major project I'll work on. I can hope to sneak in a few more covers. I had fun drawing the Hulk. Is it here? Yes. I had fun drawing the Hulk throwing around tanks. So that was my shot of the Hulk throwing around a tank. So I kind of do a little more of that stuff as well.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Simonson. Thanks for taking some time out from your busy schedule. Have a good rest of con.
Good, my pleasure, guys.
AVX. Yeah, we've been asking everybody.
Okay.
Whose side are you on? Well, who do you want to see come out on top? And what do you think of the whole event of Avengers vs. X-Men as a whole?
I know too much to be able to give you any secret scoops on this. So I'm going to have to plead neutrality and not give you an answer. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Fair enough. Thank you, Mr. Simonson.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.